Okay, so now you're at the Independence Station. You'd want to use this time for students to obviously work one-on-one and hopefully be able to get it done with little to no help from you, the instructor, because you're working with your small group, and hopefully they wouldn't need too much help from their classmates because you need that small group to be quiet. So when you go to think about designing a hybrid model lesson plan, whether it's all done in one day or over the course of 3 days, you're going to want this Independence Station to be something that's one, meaningful, two, self-directed, and three, pretty easy for the kids to be able to do. Not easy in rigor, but easy without too much explanation on the teacher's end. For me, what I've done is things from virtual labs. I've also done videos that maybe in the past I've assigned at home, part of my flipped classroom, that had questions embedded within them. I've had kids do blog posts. I've put together Google Slides and had kids go through that and have to answer questions. So I really try to get a nice variety so that the students aren't always doing the same thing. So the hybrid model stays the same, but what they do within their stations, I try to get variation so the kids don't get too bored. Try to spice it up and keep things constantly changing for them. So I want to use this time for us to look at a resource that I think is going to be very valuable for you. And if you already know about it, I apologize, but even if you do know about it, it looks like things have changed. And the site is CK12, and it's a .org, so it's ck12.org, as you can see there. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. If you don't have an account, you're going to want to join. You might want to sign in with Google, since we all have Google accounts. I signed in years ago with my regular BHASD account. So there's a whole lot that I could show you, excuse me, but I'm just going to take a few minutes here and just point out a few major things to you, and then give you guys time to navigate and play around, and hopefully when we're done with our stations today, I can answer any questions that you have. So one, some great simulations in here for physics and chemistry if you happen to teach those. There's these PLIX, which you're going to want to check out. They're really good for math and also the science. There's these adaptive practices, again for math and science. Really cool stuff. Check them out. But what I really want to focus on with the few minutes that we have here is all the different subject areas. You can see all the math. Focus on just the grade bands 1 through 5. The science has the grade band as well. But then as you sort of scroll down, you see it has all the higher level maths as well as the sciences. And what's new since I was last on here is some English stuff, writing and spelling, and then some even some STEM activities, health as well. So a lot of stuff. It's a huge wealth of information that could be utilized. So if you're looking for some particular content that maybe your current resources don't hit so well and you're struggling, don't forget about CK12. You can come to it and hopefully find something that you're looking for. So I'm just going to go to technology and see what's there. Okay, so sustainable energy without the hot air. Let's see what that's about. Okay, so this is laid out a little bit different than the science ones that I'm used to. So if I click on this, let's see, numbers, not objectives. Okay, so there's a whole lot there, and each one of these would have a whole lot of information in it. I'm going to go back to one that I'm more familiar with. I apologize for that. So let me go into life science. And here I can see the main topic, cell biology, introduction to life science. As I scroll down, so many subtopics. It's unbelievable how much stuff there is here. So let me just go to plants. So if I go to plant classification, okay, what I can see within plant classification is there's 5 total topics. So let me click on all 5 and we'll see what they are. And they're already there. So there's a reading here. I can see that says read. There's a video. There's some practice for the kids to do. There's a real-world application and another real-world application. So there's a nice amount of information there. So if I click on this reading, okay, so I'll go through it, set up just like a textbook. Nice images. There's different things for me to click on. I'm not going to go through that for the sake of time. There's a summary. Many of the readings have a video in them. and then after the video there's questions about the content in the video, and then at the end there's review questions that pertains to both the reading and the video. And if I keep going down, it has the pertinent vocabulary from what we just read. Okay, so let's say this is something that I find that's pretty good and I want to share it with my students. What I can do is share to group or add to Flexbook. If I just wanted to share this particular reading, I would share this to group. But let's say I was trying to put together a mini textbook of content that I wanted to build for my students. What I would do is add to Flexbook textbook. So I want to just show you that. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay, so I want to create a new one, even though I already had one for plants. I'm just going to create a new one. I'm just going to call it Plants 2.0. 2.0. There we go. Okay, so I would add that to my Flexbook. So let me go back, and if I go back to plant characteristics, I want to add that. Okay. So let's go to this reading. You're going to see a similar layout, I think, to what we just saw. Okay, just scroll through. Okay, there's the video, questions about the video, review questions about everything, and then the vocabulary. So I took the time, I like this, I evaluated it, I want to add that to the same Flexbook which I already started to create. If you remember, it was Plants 2.0, so I'll click that and click OK. Alright, so maybe I added a few more resources to that as well. Now what I'm going to want to do is assign that to my students. So I'm going to go to groups, and I have some previously created classes already. Okay, you can see here's period 1, here's period 7, period 2. Okay, so let's say I wanted to add that to period 1. Okay, I'm sorry, what I actually want to do is go to library. Sorry about that. I'm going to go to library. I'm going to go to this Flexbook which I just created. Remember, it has those two different readings in it about plants, plant classification, plants characteristics. Now what I want to do is share to groups. So I'll share it with periods 1, 2, and 5B, and I'll click share, and there we go. Okay, and then those students would have it as an assignment. So let me go look at it and make sure it's there. Okay, so period 1. There it is. Okay, you can see I just added it, Plants 2.0. Let me show you one last thing, and then we're going to be done, and you guys can search around and try to figure out how to work this site. Okay, so if I wanted to create a new group, groups are your classes, I would click on this big plus sign here. Okay, create a group, give it a name, period 8. Okay, choose a subject, science, life science, and create a group. Okay, now I want to add students. What I would do is invite students by email, but what you would probably do is take this last part right here, this link, and post it in your Google Classroom. That would be the best way for students to join, and they would just go directly to there, and once they're there they would put in their names and it would populate them into your class. Okay, so that's it. That's CK12, great resource for you. You guys will have some time to mess around, and hopefully I'll be able to answer your questions. Thank you.